what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis and welcome back to another video. So today we are here in the office and I'm just kind of going over some notes from a Skype call that I did a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I have done in this hobby mistake-wise that have drastically impacted my long-term success. And I only want to talk about it so you guys can avoid it and maybe have some food for thought. Maybe you're doing something now that you probably shouldn't be doing, or you're about to make a decision that you probably shouldn't make. So with that said, that is a planted tank. I know it's a saltwater channel, but I always have a planted tank in my life. So long story short, that was downstairs. I needed a room for the holidays, so I went ahead and moved it up here. Just did a water change, a little cloudy. But I like it. It adds to the room. It's nice. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about a couple decisions that I've made that have drastically impacted not only the long-term success of my tank, but definitely my my wallet, financially, my business, all that kind of stuff. So as you guys know, a few years ago when I started the 300 gallon, I bought a little fish this big, pretty cute, awesome fish. Wiggle, say hi. And it is a flamingi tang. As you guys know, her name is Big Bertha, and she took 2 years to grow out to be about over a foot, and then she decided to destroy the 300 gallon, as in breaking rock structures, destroying every colony that she possibly could. I don't think she did it on purpose. I don't think she's like, you know, coral bias or whatever, but she's got a problem. She's got a big head, big body, and she just likes to destroy things. Now, she's in the tub right now, and she doesn't destroy any coral. She knocks over a few things here and there, but there's not actual giant colonies being destroyed. But then again, it's not the 300 gallon, it's just the tub. So, with that said, that one decision, that one little fish, that cute fish that was super cheap on sale, and I knew that she was going to get bigger. I thought, hey, I'll just take her out of the tank when the time comes. That one decision changed my entire business. The 300 gallon, right now, is she gonna do it? What are you doing? She's just checking the fish out. All right, we'll just keep, she's gonna be in there soon enough. Paws deep. But anyways, that one decision, that tank itself is capable of growing out about $500,000 in coral in 2.5 years. Depending on placement, rock structures, all that kind of stuff, it's capable of growing about that much. Now, putting her in that tank, she not only destroyed all that coral, but also all that potential growth. Basically causing me, long story short, when she broke off a colony this big, instead of breaking off little frags and letting that colony grow in my 300, I had to remove the whole colony, frag it all up, do a bunch of sales to get rid of the coral because I didn't have the room. I can't believe countless times that I've done making room sales. Now it was cool short term, yeah, it brought in money short term, but long term wise, I don't have that colony, I don't have that growth, and of course it negatively impacts the business. Now granted, fast forward now, we've rehauled the 300 gallon, we've removed the rock structure, I got the tub, I got the low boys, I'm able to regrow a lot of this coral, but again, it set me back about 2 years worth of growth, and yeah, you know, we'll talk about the positives. So that's happened. It allowed me to work on my 3D printing. Now we have 22 printers running 24/7. That's my primary source of income. So it worked out in the long run, but it wasn't difficult, and it definitely is still impacting me to this day. So again, that one decision, that one fish, I love her to death though. I can't get rid of her. Anyways, the next decision that I made that was not so much bad for me, but bad for the inhabitants of my tank was adding that eel. I don't remember what it was. I'll try to find a picture. Pretty big teeth, pretty big eel, cool personality, but he decided to chop on about $1,200 worth of fish in like 3 days. So purple tangs, flame fin tangs, all the other critters that I loved, you know, my mated pair of clowns. I had like 5 different clowns in that tank, all lunch, all gone. And by the time I realized it, I was already starting to do the overhaul, and that was the only way I was going to get him out, is with the overhaul as well. So yeah, definitely not the best decision I ever made. You guys know that I had Reggie, the snowflake eel, for a couple years or a few years. He was doing really good. He never ate any of my fish, but again, this one eel had a different personality, and he made snacks of all that, which has, again, negatively impacted the tank. The bio load isn't what it should be. Sometimes I have nutrient issues because I don't have enough fish. And then of course the aggression was changed. Just the overall, I had to remove fish and put different fish in to try to balance out some of the tang aggression because other tangs got destroyed in that whole feeding frenzy. So yeah, that one decision changed everything. What's another one? Another decision that I made early on, I guess this is just kind of a lesson learned, is when it came to buying a generator. It took me a little bit to buy one. It was kind of like, oh, I don't really want to spend the money. But when I did, I bought the wrong one. I bought the one that does not have an inverter, which is cool if you're out camping and you're trying to get a toaster to work. But if you're trying to hook an Apex up to it or something that's going to control your tank during a power outage, it's not good. You can't use it because it doesn't have consistent power. It's gonna, cause issues with your PCB boards and potentially fry your equipment. So I spent all the money on that generator. Now I can't use it. So if anybody needs a generator, let me know. But then I had to go out and spend all this money on a inverter generator, which now I can use for my power outages. So not only was it the decision early on to wait to get a generator, I learned that back in the 125, but getting a generator in the first place was a decision that I should have made sooner. And then getting the right one and not trying to cheap out on it was the next decision. Outside of that, how long have I been in this saltwater hobby? I don't know, like 6 years, 7 years. I don't know. It's been a while. No, wait, I think it's been like 8 years because I got one of those little things that came up on my phone like, hey, look at your first saltwater tank. I think it's like been like 8 years, 9 years. I don't know, something like that. Either way, I'm not a pro yet, but I'm working on it. Anyways, so I've learned so many lessons over these years, and every build that I do, and this is just kind of human nature, I think, in general, but every build that I've done, I've taken those lessons and moved forward. And then that's one of the reasons why I document everything here on YouTube is I want to look back and be like, hey, I definitely shouldn't have done that, or, and maybe I should have made this decision. And what's good is you guys get to see that stuff too, and learn from my mistakes and hopefully not make them. So with that said, this topic came up during a Skype call, kind of just talking about some of the decisions I've made and, how they've impacted me long term. I can only imagine what the 300 would look like now if I never had Big Bertha, or I never added that eel, just the amount of fish, the amount of coral that would potentially still be in there. But at the end of the day, I would have had to reset the 300 at some point. I would have had to remove fish at some point because this is a glass box of water. The corals can only grow so big. You can only have so much aggression and fighting for space within the rock structures for corals, and that's where coral placement, all that stuff comes into play later on. But also the fish are going to continue to grow. They're still going to get bigger, so you're going to have to remove them at some point. So even though the decisions I made shortened the life of the 300 early on, I still would have had to done something to the tank later on. So, yeah. At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. I'm not upset about it. Kind of bummed, but I'm not upset. It's just one of those things that we're going to learn and drive and move forward for our next build. So, with that said, guys, that's about it for the video. Again, the point of it is just kind of share some of the things that I've done, but to also give you a little bit of food for thought. So, if you're making a decision now where you're like, hey, I got a 100-gallon tank. I want this tang. It could potentially get 2 feet long. I like SPS coral. Maybe you shouldn't buy that fish. Or hey, it's getting winter months and we might have power outages because of ice and all that stuff. Should I buy a new, Trident, or should I buy a generator? Buy the generator. If you don't have a generator, food for thought. If you're $1,000 or more in your tank, buy a generator. That's it. That's where I start. If you're at least $1,000, just $1,000, you should buy a generator because it's already gonna be worth it at that point. So yeah, so just think about some of the decisions that you're making and how they might impact you long term. If you're doing research now or you're trying to decide if you want to get in the hobby, just keep watching videos. You can watch mine if you want. There's plenty of other people out there documenting this stuff. Learn as much as you can and just try to negate, try to make it so you can survive longer when it comes to this hobby, because at some point it is a glass box of water. We're going to have to start over at some point. We're going to have to make decisions of like resetting or taking it down or upgrading. I mean, that's just the way it is. So I'm done talking. Hopefully you guys have a good week. I will try to get another couple videos out this week, and I'll see you later. All right. Peace.